Hello, everyone. I'm Alejandro. I'm a network solutions architect for Accudata. And today's conversation is going to be around Cisco Software-Defined Access for enabling intent-based encryption. Nowadays, we're facing the challenge by all of our networks are having a big digital transformation, and it is changing the business. Nowadays, we're adding a lot of mobility into our networks by having users that are able to move from one office to another, and we'll need to have seamless policies built into our network. Another challenge that we're facing right now, it's a lot of objects are connected into our network as well. So, and with it, we'll need to build a lot of cybersecurity in our network to protect our users and our devices and our services. Our traditional networks cannot meet the demands of our digital network. The digital network is demanding an end-to-end security and enabling mobility, seamless mobility, and user and device IoT segmentation. And of course, securing all the connectivity between branch offices and even the cloud. As of today, we have a very big challenge with all the configuration across our branch offices and our headquarters, and even remote users and the cloud. And the biggest challenge is to have a consistent policies across our entire network and even the cloud. With this, we're going to be able to achieve seamless roaming with our users. So those users will be able to have connectivity to the services that they require, regardless where they get it into our network. The key challenges in today's network, it's the difficult of creating segmentation in our network. The networks are getting complex to manage, more and more complex to manage. And of course, the slower the resolutions that we have for issues, it's affecting the way that our network is transforming. Here's one example of how the complexity it's being added into our network. So today we have our users trying to talk to the cloud, our users trying to talk to communication services, our users try to communicate to office services like printing. Even our users try to communicate to the IoT devices. And for one example, our users try to communicate to the badge services, security badge services. So the first challenge that we face in this new area, it's we need to block some kind of traffic. So for example, if we don't want the badges to be talking to communication services, we'll need to make sure to block that traffic in our entire network. Same thing, if we don't want the printers to be talking to the IoT, we'll need to block that. And last but not least, for an example, we don't want IoT devices to be talking to the cloud. So this looks like it's going to start making more complex our network, and we're not going to be able to support those policies that are going to be built into our network. But if we start looking into our network as just one single piece and look at the whole as one and call it the fabric, we're going to be able to start building those policies and keep them consistent in our entire network, regardless if it is a wired or a wireless user that is being connected to the network. And the way that Cisco achieves this is by adding a controller into the network called a DNA center. The benefits of having DNA center into our network is that today we have a lot of lack of visibility in our network. We need to build those policies manually. We need to have more visibility, and we need to have more diagnosis into our network. With DNA Center and the software-defined access from Cisco, we'll be able to have identity-based policy and segmentation. We'll be able to have a fabric completely automated, and we're gonna have insights and telemetry from all the information that comes from the users and the network by itself. And DNA Center will be able to start building automation responses to create predictive remediations for any issues that shows up into our network. So DNA Center has three different pieces, and those three different pieces are very important. So we have the DNA Center. That DNA Center has these three different pieces. Number 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is security. Number 2 is automation. And number 3 is analytics. Security, it's the one in charge for building end-to-end connectivity and segmentation across our network, regardless the way that the users connect to the network. On automation, you'll be able to design, provision, and assign policies, and even add agility to your network. Analytics, it's the ability to have a singular interface for all of your network and the ability to start creating predictive automation with all the insights and telemetry that comes into the network. Some of the benefits that you can achieve with SD Access, it's to achieve a network that has completely automated policies, group-based policies, and even policies that follows the identity of a user. So back in the days with networks before SD Access, we learned to build those policies based on VLAN and IP addresses, and then create those IP-based access lists for access policies. But now with software-defined access, you won't need VLANs or subnets that will depend on for the segmentation and access control, and you'll be able to create policies that follows those identities. So if we have a user that normally connects on by a wireless access point, and then he goes to a different office and he plugs into Ethernet port. So now he became a wired user, and that policy will be enforced into the user, because now the policy was built based on user and not an IP address. Some other benefits that you can achieve with software-defined access is to have a simplified provisioning tool, campus-wide roaming, and wired and wireless consistency. Back in the days, we learned how to build policies, and we had to enforce that policies in your wired network and in your wireless network. With software-defined access, you'll be able to have consistent management across wired and wireless. And we were having lack of the ability to create roaming issues for layer 3 domains. And now we're going to have, with software-defined access, we're going to have the ability to get optimal traffic flows with seamless roaming. Thank you very much for the time. And if you want to learn more about software-defined access, please don't hesitate to reach out to your Accudata's account manager.